Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Abhinav Chandra and today's topic for discussion is Python. So we are going to start this new chapter of Python, which is introduction and its what we can say features and advantages and disadvantages we will learn in this chapter. So what is Python? Python is a high level language, interpreted programming language created by this person in 1991. So the main USP of Python is it is very simple and very readable. So we can say it is very human type. So let's go with the features. So the first feature is easy to learn and use. So it is quite easy. The syntax is very easy. The syntax uses the terms which we use in our general life, and it is quite short. So you have to write less in Python, but you seems to do all the what we can say programming thing. So the second feature, it is interpreted language. What we mean from interpreted language? So interpreted language means the execution of program goes by line. It does not compile. If you are familiar with other programming language like C++ and Java, there is a middle step in those type of programming language. But in this Python programming language, we do not have those steps. It make it very easy for detecting errors and debugging code. Let me give you an example. So I have created a folder. It is called Python tutorial. Inside that there is a file called intro.py. So you don't have to focus on the code right now, but you just listen to what I'm saying. To output anything onto the screen in Python, we use print statement, print. We'll copy this line and we'll paste it again and again. Now what we are seeing right now. So I have written 4 lines of code. In first line we are commanding the computer to print hello world. This thing, this exact line, it will be printed because it is in quotes, quote unquote. So it will be printed as it is. In second line we are printing hello 1. In third we are printing hello 2. In fourth we are printing hello 3. Let's just delete first one. Now it will be easier to understand. So now if we run this file, run this Python file, look, we have 3 lines printed, exactly the input we have given in this. But what happens if we do something error? Now what is happened? Only the first line have been printed. Now what is happening is there is an error in second line, but still we are being able to compile the first line. But when it comes to second line, it stops and it does not go further. So this is the what we can say meaning of interpreted language. Interpreted language means, just understand it like this. Interpreted language means you will go from one line, you will execute the first line, then you will execute the second line, then you will execute the third line. It is like the present Magina, living in the present, not worrying about the future or anything. So the third part is dynamically typed. So there are something called variables. Variables are things you may have seen in maths also. If you remember math, things like x or y were called variable. Why? Because x and y can be anything. It can vary its value. So x can be equals to 12, x y can be equal to 45. So this is variable, simple. It can have any value. Dynamically typed means there are multiple types of values which a variable can have. Like it can have a sentence, it can have a word, it can have a number, it can have a boolean is nothing but true or false value. In different languages, what happens is when you create a variable, you assign variable type to it. Like for example, if we give x is equals to 10, it is x, what is x holding? It is holding an integer value. In programming languages like Java or C++, what happens is you have to first declare what it is going to hold. When you are assigning a when you are creating a variable, you have to first declare what it is going to hold. So you do something like int in. First you have to point it, what are you going to assign to the variable. But and you cannot change this thing. Like if right now we are using this for to store integer, some line after some line we think like after some time what happens is you want to now store a string in this x variable. Now if you try to do something like this, a string, say the compiler that it will now hold a string, it won't happen. This is not how it's worked in Java or C++. But in Python, what you can do is you can easily switch between the variable types. So if we do x is equals to 10, and then I do x is equals to Abhinav. So this is a legal thing in Python. So first, in the first line, x was holding an integer. Then in the second line, we assigned it a string. It will not show any complaint to us. If we print the value of x, you just have to like observe this. You don't have to focus it on. Like now, say what is x holding? X is holding Abhinav. If we do the same line above this, what first it was holding 10 and then it was holding Abhinav. So the execution is also clear in this. The first line was executed first, x was assigned integer 10, and then what it did, second line, it went to the second line, printed x, and it went to the third line then where it was assigned a string of Abhinav. Then it was printed in the fourth line. Now the fourth one is high level language. High level language means we can easily read this. Like if you look at this one is readable, print text. It is almost a sentence like, so it is very readable. This is called high level language. Extensive standard library. So in Python we have what we call libraries, different type of. If you are learning Python, so you must have seen that it is used in wide variety of range applications. Like you can develop a website from this using Python. You can develop machine learning codes. You can write data analytics code. You can do a lot of things. You can use it for automation, you can do a lot of things with Python. So how we are doing these things? So there are many libraries which supports these types of application in Python. So for like in terms of web development, we have Django, we have Flash, Streamlit. These are the libraries, different type of libraries. In machine learning, you have TensorFlow, Keras are different things. Okay, so next one is portable. Python could be run on multiple platforms. Like, yeah, this one is very obvious. You can run it on Windows, you can run it on Linux also. Number 7, object oriented and functional. Object oriented, what is object oriented? Okay, so basically object oriented means we can represent the real world items. Like for example, we can represent people with the help of Python. So it is a very strong concept in Python, and it is actually quite used in the real world application, object oriented. After all, we are making products for people to use, so you have to represent the product as well as the people somehow. So it can do that. Object oriented programming, we will have a full session for it, so we'll see then. Now, open source and free. So it is free to use. Nobody is asking you to pay anything for using Python. Readability, yeah, it is very obvious, it is very readable. Support for third-party libraries. You can write libraries for Python. I have written one or two libraries also for my own convenience. So it is very easy to write libraries for Python for your specific use cases, or for everyone to use. Like web development, you can write libraries for web development, you can write machine learning libraries, etc. Third party basically means there is no control of like Python organization over it. Anyone can write libraries, but you have to download that library from externally or maybe internally also. I don't know. Benefits of Python. What are the benefits of versatility? This one is obvious. We can use it for web development, data analytics, artificial intelligence, scientific computing, automation. You can make graphics also. Graphical user interface also, GUI. What we say? Large community. So there are huge amount of community working on Python. Rapid development. So what look, for the print statement you only have to write this much of code. In many type of languages, for the exact same print statement you have to write almost like this much of code. There are many programming languages where you almost have to write a lot of code for general very simple tasks, but it does not require that. So the development time is reduced because you are writing less code. Great for prototyping. Because it is very easy to write in Python, it is very easy to develop prototype on it. You don't want to spend hours and hours long time. Integration capabilities, so you can integrate it with C++, Java, .NET. So basically you can so basically you are not bound to only use Python. If you are using Python, you can integrate, say, like one part of the code is in Python and you can develop the second part in Java and you can merge that both. So this is what it means. Now what is the shortcomings of the Python? You can forget these things, benefits of Python, but these things you should always remember, negative things. So the first one is slower execution time. So Python, in order to accomplish the user experience, like readability, to make the code readable, what the trade-off was, it Python became slower. So its execution speed is slower than programming languages like Java or C. So if you are creating a program which has to run very quickly and do a lot of things in a very short period of time, then Python may not be your preferred language. The second thing is high memory uses. Again, simple. This is also the trade-off. It takes a lot of memory, like, because it has to give you dynamic typing, like how is I said, look, dynamic variable allocation. This thing, x can be 10, x can be Abhinav also. So to accommodate this thing, you have to give every variable enough storage to accommodate everything in it. So that's why its memory uses is. The third one is weak in mobile development. So it is very basic. You cannot make smartphone apps with Python, because general mobile app development requires a lot of performance from the uh, programming language. It is very resource intensive. That's why the mobile development, Python cannot perform mobile development, and it should be efficient also, because mobile, in the process in our smartphone, the processor is very weak compared to our computer, laptop. So you need a efficient language. That's why the Java is used and Python is not used. So the fourth shortcoming is global interpreter lock, GLI. If you are aware of multi-threading, what it does is you can divide a program into multiple threads and execute all of them at the same time, achieve higher efficiency. But it cannot do that. It does not have the capability of doing that. 5, dependency on external libraries. So where we were, yeah, support of third-party libraries, we show it in the features also. It is a negative thing also, because the Python org, which is the official which is company who owns the Python, that does not control the all of the library which Python can support. For example, there are many libraries like YOLO v8, YOLO v5, these kind of libraries. These are the libraries which Python does not develop. So there can be some bugs, or there can be some security risks using in those type of libraries. Limited support for low level programming. So it is very friendly to human interaction, but it is not that friendly to the machine interaction. Runtime error. Due to dynamic typing, type related issue often appears. This is a complicated topic, not a complicated topic, but I I do not expect you to understand right now, so leave it for some other day. When should you use Python? So basically, ideal for beginners, people like you, me, who are starting with coding. I have completed my BTech, so I am not a beginner. But people who are learning coding for who are very new to coding, they should learn Python, because it is quite easy to understand the logic buildup will be easier in Python. uh, if you are doing data analysis, there are extensive amount of tools which Python has, which are very useful in data analytics. So in data analytics mostly Python is used. Web applications, you can develop web application, as I said, using the Django, the Flash, this type of frameworks. Look, what happens in machine learning is you focuses on the logic part of the machine learning more than the actual code, because uh, you can write code in any language. So the bigger problem is writing the logic behind the machine learning. So that's why they chose the easiest language to write machine learning, so that the researchers would focus more on the research part rather than the programming part. And automation tasks generally uses Python and Java. There is only two languages which is mostly used in automation, and out of those two, Python is very easy to understand. That's why Python is more widely used. When should you avoid Python? For resource intensive applications, again, it is not efficient. That's why resource intensive applications, if you are writing code for NASA, then you don't want to write it in Python, because there are lots of data you are working with. Then there is mobile development, or when execution speed is crucial. It was the video for today. Thank you.